Philippians 3, verse 9 in the King James Version. And be found in him, not having my own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Christ, the righteousness which is of God by faith, that I may know him, verse 10, and the power of his resurrection, and the fellowship of his sufferings, being made conformable to his death, if by any means I might attain unto the resurrection of the dead. Verse 12, not as though I had already attained, either were already perfect, but I follow after. If that I may apprehend that for which I am also apprehended of Christ Jesus. Family, I count not myself to have apprehended. But this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press toward, verse 14, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. Family, welcome in today. Us, the almost 800 plus strong. We're going to go on and say it, right? Because we right? Speak positive over things. Family, y'all welcome in us who believe in, subscribe to, follow after, thirst and long for, are hungry for that which is a different view. Fam, welcome in today. Like we said last time, we're going to continue here. This is part 2 here of a conversation that I titled on Spotify, To Give or Not to Give, ? Right? Which one do we do, y'all? We spoke last time about a conversation here, and before I go further here, shout out to Spotify for podcasters, right? A platform in which your boy and others can speak on topics and speak on a topic that is necessary, that is pertinent to life and health, toward love, on it freely, without persecution, without intimidation, right? So, shout out to Spotify for podcasters, right? Who helps put on this platform here for you, boy. Again, we encourage other platforms to come on out and be known, be noticed. Again, this idea here, as we'll just start to segue in. We're going to talk a couple of things here before we get back into some things dealing with this verse and this topic here with Pastor Keon Henderson. Hopefully y'all liked the last episode. If you have not heard it yet, go hear it, right? Again, your boy was very passionate. We will probably be just as passionate today. So while I might be calm voice right now, y'all hang on, right? This is for all beliefs. Let's not do this thing where it's just Christian. There is a mindset here that each belief on the planet can take away some nuggets, if you will, right? So one, talking about WWE competition, all that kind of thing. Guys, competition is healthy. Now, we have turned it into a very bloodthirsty sport, right? Business, competition, so on and so forth. But competition in and of itself is a healthy thing. You get to see where you need to grow. You get to grow, right? You get to challenge yourself against somebody else. There's some very healthy things there. Where we go too far, whether it be video game playing, board game playing, physical activities outside, football, hockey, soccer, baseball, right? All that kind of thing. We can go too far. When it comes to AEW and WWE, because y'all know I'm a wrestling fan, right? Those are the two primary promotions that we pay attention to, right? Some wrestling fans are real hardcore ones. They know about Ring of Honor. They know about different indie scene promotions, all that kind of thing, right? That's there under the surface, right? That funnels wrestlers into these major ones by which they can make their money and stuff, which that's a whole separate topic about whether you're underground. I've had that conversation with hip hop a lot. Whether underground or mainstream, as they say, right? Where you're making that big paper, which one is for real, right? Separate topic for another day. But AEW, you got to pick. We got to pick it up. It's 5 years in now. They've celebrated their 5-year anniversary, right? Back in 2019, man, on the scene, going against the big monster. But again, WWE laid the groundwork for which that you have the open competition, because again, oppression breeds rebellion. Lazy storytelling, not utilizing your workers, right? Did anybody know where else that is in life, right? All these things breed into this idea where you have to have something else or some things else, right, to level the playing field. So shout out to AEW on its 5-year anniversary, and we hope y'all continue to climb higher. Again, because when you look on WWE, some stuff is still stale. We still having the same old matches, and a lot of again, the competition is necessary, right? We're talking the Young Bucks, we're talking Kenny Omega, we're talking Tony Khan, we're talking that whole group of people who started this thing. Get some folks around you who know wrestling. I know y'all know wrestling. If y'all hear this, if you ever do, if not, people who know you, whatever, right? We're talking about help to the folks that are trying to help. Get the game together. That goes for your boy or anybody else, right, family? So, shout out to wrestling. Shout out to AEW, WWE. That y'all continue to do their thing. As we're doing these shout out to the New York Yankees, everybody. I hope I said that in my best East Coast accent when you heard me say York. The New York Yankees, right? I keep my Black Yankees hat on a lot. Normally when I'm repping where I'm from, y'all, just because it keeps me in reminder of a group of people, right? Our dear Black brothers and sisters, as we've spoken on this podcast, who helped pave the way for baseball. It's hard to say it that way because Massa got it implanted in your mind that it's wrong to talk that way, but we talking the Negro Leagues, y'all. Josh Gibson and Satchel Paige in the gang, right? It's necessary. That's why they're part of baseball, y'all. Why? Because they help make it. From the late 1800s on, man, through World War I and World War II, of course, World War II being the more famous one because that's where you get Jackie Robinson, which when you start studying Negro League baseball, you realize that Jackie Robinson was like maybe 3rd or 4th on the list of stars playing the game of baseball. An unfortunate competition that was made between the darker and lighter skin tone people on this planet because we refuse to share, which is the topic that is still up for conversation today, right? Shout out to the New York Yankees. They got their offense together. There was some little bobbles here and there, right? But as a Yankees fan, just putting this out here to add some brevity to the conversation. Hopefully they are able to continue riding the wave of home runs and timely hitting through the World Series, and then we could tack number 28 in the hat. I know for those who may have not won one yet, so on and so forth, us baseball fans, you'd be a little bit jealous. If the New York Mets made it, we'd take the chance to talk some trash, right? Again, we're talking just having some brevity here, showing some fandom. And again, I keep myself reminded before we go too far into a system that's been made. Now, of course, down the road here, this is what people like to hide behind. Oh, see, there's a lot more black people and Latin folks in baseball, KJ. Yes, in a league made that's not of their own. And I apologize, y'all, but that's just the truth of it, right? They're in the man's league. They're not in their own. Never mind. So again, shout out to the Yankees, man. Hope y'all win another championship. And we keep on that, which is history repeating itself, right? Speaking of history repeating itself, the other side of this is I'm a fan. Dallas Cowboy fans, family, what's going on, right? I hope y'all gave Jerry Jones your ear this past week, because this man acted a fool. It's time for his son or somebody else to take his place. This old thinking, and it is old, imbalanced thinking. This is not against older people. You know, I had a chance to have a real cool conversation. One of the day oneers here on this podcast, right? A couple of them, actually. Talking about how older people were paid, man. This man, 60 years old, came out and said that he got paid $3 and change for his first job, y'all. Of course, out here in rural America, but still, $3 and change. How the hell you supposed to live on $3 and change, y'all? We have missed the heart of it there. Well, KJ, you know, if you increase the money on what the workers is making, man, you got to increase the... Again, why are you explaining to me economics from this greedy made system? Can't nobody go back and talk about how improvements should have been made on civilizations, aka societies of time past that was, you know, implanted and imposed upon on these lands. We can't talk about that because we couldn't talk about our native brothers and sisters, how they were operating their own sports. How they were operating their own societies. You know how we have an issue supposedly with listening to the life givers of this planet, women. You know, we can't vote in a woman. We got to hide behind the fact of policy and all that kind of stuff. Y'all, policy was thrown out the window a long time ago. Again, symbolism is all they've given you left. You assume that the Republican Party is going to save you, go for it. We don't do voter suppression here, but we're also not going to not talk the truth. Government as a whole abandoned its people a long time ago, and they leave the scraps for you, just like they left the scraps for the slave on the plantation house, y'all. It don't matter field Negro or house Negro. Y'all eating the same scraps, maybe in a little bit different form, same scraps. Is that right? Or is it wrong? We don't give a pass to Jerry Jones in Dallas Cowboy land. Come on, somebody, right? whether it's you trying to be quote unquote inquisitive while black folks are trying to learn and come into school and learn with y'all just the same, right? While we show the same hate to our Mexican brothers and sisters, which is wrong, and our Haitian and Venezuelan brothers and sisters, which is also wrong. But I digress. History has an odd way of repeating itself, y'all. They need to get their act together on the offensive and defensive line. These teams need to stop lining up and just running right through them. That ain't gonna work. Not if y'all want another championship, that ain't gonna work, right? We can't keep blaming Dak Prescott. That's not gonna... Never mind, right? So hopefully the Dallas Cowboys can right their ship here for the rest of the season and maybe give people something else to watch during turkey time this upcoming November than not, because you know the NFL gonna make that money off the Cowboys, and if they playing horrible, that's probably a game that we could just pass on by, as we should, because there's no reason to be watching bad teams and management misusing the team improperly to make money off your back, right? So let's get back into this. I want to bring back up this video. We just wanted to put that out there, right? Have a little bit of levity, brevity, whatever, right? Just to bring in something else, right? Because what we're gonna get into, we're gonna walk deep today, y'all. So I hope you got on your wading shoes, big old fishing boots, something, right? Galoshes, y'all know that word, galoshes, right? When it's talking about rain, then you don't get, right? Rain shoes. Anyway, we're gonna get back into this topic here with brother Keon Henderson, Pastor Keon Henderson. We're going to play a clip. I'm trying to bring up the one here from TikTok because it's a little more apropos. And we're just going to bring it back to remind y'all what this man's talking about. And then we're going to finish the conversation and go about our day. And hope y'all enjoy your Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, excuse me. Right. So let's go.
Education is segregated for tithes and offering. When you give to the poor, the only thing you do is help them, but you don't help yourself. So when you give $1 to somebody on the street talking about I did my job, God like, thank you, but it ain't gonna help you. Bible. Charity does not bring wealth. What? Only the tithe does that. Matter of fact, you don't believe me? Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to preach on it.
Charity. Man. Charity. We have talked about, ironic, right, that we have talked about this on this podcast already. Let's look up the definition of the word charity. The voluntary giving of help. Charity don't bring no blessing, y'all. That's what the man said. The voluntary giving of help, typically in the form of money to those in need. Right? Again, this is why I say we start off the podcast with this, and this is life. This is real life. Y'all need to pay attention to words and phrases, man, because that's where they have played the okie doke. That's where they played one of the biggest okie dokes. The wording and how they've worded it in history, how they've worded it in law. They play in the okie doke with words, y'all, and phrases. Let's look up charity one time. Right? The voluntary giving of help. So let's go back. We're talking about, right, bring back to your remember. Do this in remembrance of me. Yes, Lord, we will, right? So, though I speak with 1 Corinthians 13, right? The love chapter, as they say. But in the King James Version, they use a different word for love. Because the entity of it does something. That which is the entity of love, y'all, has an action. See, faith or belief without works is inactive. It is. It's still a thing. It ain't doing nothing. That's what makes it inactive or dead, right? The cessation of life, that's dead. That's what the way it says it in the King James Version, right? Though I speak with the verse 1, though I speak with the tongues of men and angels, but have not charity, the voluntary, again, right? We're talking transpose the definition into what you're saying, into what you're reading. The voluntary giving of help. Though I speak with the tongues of angels and men, I can talk all kind of language. Like some of us probably did in church. This is not to make fun of speaking in tongues, but we talking about what we do in church, but it ain't no good outside of the church. And this may get a little preachy, y'all. So y'all buckle in. Oh man, hear the heart of the thing. Maybe that'll help y'all through it, family, right? The tongues of men and angels, but have not the voluntary giving of help. I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. Again, we talked about that when you're listening to rock and roll. Since people can't give certain people credit in rock and roll, we can only do it with Elvis, but we can't do it with the black folks in rock and roll. I wonder why, yet I digress. That syrup must be very tasty, y'all, because many of us have sucked it down, right, family? I mean, hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's what's happening, man. Again, that tinkling cymbal, or the sound of brass, right? When you put, in drumline with Nick Cannon and all that that sound when they put them cymbals together, right? Though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge. Y'all out here on your buzz, that Agatha Christie, I think, is the one that's a good mystery writer, or whoever that is, right? I think it is. We're gonna check ourselves in real time today. Yeah, not just Agatha Harkness, man, but we talking Agatha Christie. Oh man. Yeah, detective, known for British author, known for her, Dame Agatha Mary Clarissa Christie, right? So I can understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, all belief, you done mastered all the beliefs on the planet, and you can move mountains, but you don't have the voluntary giving of help. Hey. I am nothing. Scroll all the way down, because we already talked about it before. Now abideth, now lives. Again, not to mention that this verse talks about that we don't have all knowledge because we see in part. We're looking through a glass darkly. Never mind, right? This is why I say me, you, anybody. We don't know it all, y'all. But now abideth faith, hope, belief, hope, believing something good gonna happen to you, man. Expectation for something. Do y'all expect anything? Clearly not when you don't want to give to nobody. And the voluntary giving of help. These three abide. But the greatest. See, again, God done already given the play. People are slow on the play. Right? We done already got our X, Y, Z. We just finished talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Run the wishbone. This was just different football formations. Run this way, run that way, pass this over here, there. You done already been given the play. We don't want to do it. So y'all keep getting used to, man, boy, I love losing Super Bowls, right? Just taking a shot at the Buffalo Bills. Right? Which again, I'm not paying attention to sports as much as I used to, so I don't know whether the Bills are doing better than the Cowboys or who knows what, right? Again, as far as the Cowboys fan goes, boy, I love losing Super Bowls. Okay? The greatest of these is the voluntary giving of help, y'all. Well, how you telling me that charity doesn't bring wealth when it's the greatest of the things that abide in the earth, the entities that abide in the earth? Greater than belief? Never mind. Never mind. All right, so let's see. There's no multiplication. This is where I have a little bit of fun with this one. This is where we're gonna. Since we was all in church today, right? Shout out to our black brothers and sisters one time in the family, right? We was in church today, and I do this, for fun. I also do it to bring to light some things. Okay. Because again, we burning a lot of, I don't know how, and again, I deal with it just like anybody, right? But we're just having an open conversation about weight loss. This is not making fun of anybody. I don't know with as much shouting and hollering we do around the church why we are still overweight, y'all. It's got to be after you burn all those exercises, all them calories, man. we then go home after church, right? Certain places say church, other places say church, right? All the same place. Or maybe it's not, I don't know. But yeah. Man. Luke chapter 6. We get into this one. I think we have mentioned it in certain cases. But let's get into it. Man. Read your Bible. This is what this man said, man. Okay, we're going to read the Bible, sir. We're going to read the Bible, man. Lord, help me to say it today, man. Help me. Make it make sense to me, y'all. Bless them that curse you and pray for them which despitefully use you. This is verse 28. Jesus not playing no games. Verse 27. But unto you, this is talking about different things. Woe, verse 26, right? Woe unto you. Again, Jesus just being plain to people. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you. Beware when that happens. Right? For so did their fathers to the false prophets. We don't have to explain that. But I say unto you which hear. See, again, to those have ears. It's another thing in the Bible. If you got hearing, hear this. I say unto you which hear, love your enemies and do good to them which hate you. Nothing there talking about let them walk over you. Because karma is a thing, as we talk to our Buddhist and Hinduist brothers and sisters, we don't shy away from things. That's silly. At the end of the day here, again, if you're going to be apologetic in the faith, then it ain't about, and while it's a defense for the thing, you got to recognize other beliefs in the world. How shallow do we look? Never mind, right? Anyway. Doing good and praying and loving on folks that hate you does not mean you let them walk on you. That means you don't carry the weight of the hate that is in them on you. Matter of fact, we'll take the time here as we're going along here just to drop this one in here, because it's the first time that I've really kind of gone into it. Right? Matthew chapter 11. Again, reading out of the King James Version, verse 28. Man, something that's it's been so powerful to me, man. So powerful to me as a child growing up. And you can see the truth of the thing. You see the truth of the thing. Come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden. I will give you rest. Y'all want rest off the plantation, man. You got to change your mindset. That's the first place. For as a person think in their hearts, so are they, man. Take my yoke upon you, God's yoke. Again, for those who don't believe in God, for those who don't, this ain't your cup of tea, as they say, right? Not God's yoke, but that which deals in a mindset of we're just putting it out there. So for my Christian brothers and sisters, like, nah, again, it's about God. We're not doing that, right? We talk to everybody on the road. There's a truth for everybody on the road. Okay? Even if mine is different than somebody else's, there's a truth for everybody on the road. Take up the burden, the yoke, that which keeps people together. This is a yoke, right? Like oxen are yoked together. This word comes up again later on in the New Testament, where you should not be unequally yoked together. Now, again, they use unbelievers like an atheist and Christian shouldn't be together yoked as far as in marriage. I like to take it a step further. Don't get into business with folks that are not just we talking to Christians, unbelieving people. You ain't got no belief in nothing. Or you barely got belief in something. That's not going to help me. So why would I be yoked? We're working together. There has to be a level of commonality, y'all. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, verse 29 here in Matthew chapter 11. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. Learn from the teacher. Right? Since we talked that discipleship, the teacher is teaching still. Learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart. People keep thinking that when you see these words, that it means you're less than. Nope. Those words have been taken out of context. Meek is dealing with where you put yourself. You are so bold. You want to learn so much that you're willing to sacrifice something. Those who are in greed ain't sacrificing never. Meek and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your soul. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Take that and then put this over into this verse here in Luke chapter 6. We may go a little bit, y'all, so buckle in, right? We're at 28 minutes right now. We're going to try to wrap it up here with some of these verses. Again, this is the Sunday message, so this is where we go with this. Pray for them which despitefully use you. This is a yoke. This is a burden, y'all, right? It is, but it's light. It's lighter than doing this the opposite way where you're fighting with folks all day long. Verse 30. I'm going over 29 because I don't have time for the I don't have time for the back and forth, man. Give to every man that asks of you. I guess that'd be the poor then, right? And of them that taketh away thy goods, don't ask for them back. See, the reason you're not asking for them back, although it's good to repay when you ask somebody for something. Again, we're talking about catch the heart of a thing, y'all. Just because Jesus said this like this, we got to think through it a little bit, right? Goods, thy goods, we're not doing it to get the stuff back. We're doing it to help people. So while this man talking about, oh, well, you're supposed to be getting something back from him. No. We ain't chasing. Again, that's chasing the bag, y'all. People out in the street do that, which the Bible alludes to certain thought process like that. As ye would, men should do to you, do unto them also. Again, as ye would that men should do, as you would want people to do to you, do to them. For if you love them which love you, what thank have you? Sinners also love those that love them. Again, take it up a notch. Never mind. It's easy to rock with the people who rock with you. Can you rock with the people and do the right things to those who don't do right to you? That takes a little bit more effort, y'all. Verse 36. Be merciful, for your Father is also merciful. Judge not. To our Christian brothers and sisters who love passing that judgment, man. Y'all pass that judgment around more than you do the offering plate in the church today. I'm sure of it. Because we're hearing it, y'all. Judge not, and you shall not be judged. That's cool. That's cool to know. Condemn not, and you shall not be condemned. We could get into the word condemned. I'm not going to do that for right now. Forgive, and you shall be forgiven. Okay. Give. Here we go, y'all. Tap your neighbor one time. Say give. Hey. I said, say give. Verse 38. Said give, yea, and it shall be given unto you, yea. Good measure, pressed down, yeah, shaken together and running over, shall men give unto your bosom. Oh man, wait, run it back, KJ, say it again. Shall men give unto your bosom. Oh, wait, so when you give to the poor, when you give to people, it's coming back to you? Wait, I thought this man just said that when you give, you don't get... Read your Bible, y'all. No, let's go past reading, because we've been reading a lot of the Bible. Ain't nobody picking up on nothing. Study the Bible. Study it good. Right? Saw an acronym driving around today. Broke down the word Bible. Bible is basic instructions before leaving Earth. Too many people are too stuck on leaving Earth, y'all. But do you know any of the basic instructions down here, man? Nope. Because you wouldn't have colony packs in Africa if that was the case. And missionaries helped start that mess way back when. Come on, somebody. Right? You wouldn't have had the Quaker and the Puritan while we gonna have this little silly dance we do Thanksgiving next month. While we just finished going through that mess October 14th that we had to talk about with Christopher Columbus. Everybody got little forms and symbols of crosses and on their flags and everything, sailing these ships all over the place doing harm to people. Nobody was preaching that help. Christian wasn't there for that. He wasn't standing up for that. You gotta, till this day, we still do this mess where, oh, God don't see no color. Wait, but from one blood all the nations was made. Oh, I guess God didn't see them nations neither. Insanity, y'all. That's what we have picked up on, family, is insanity. No, give and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together. Multiplication. This man said there's no multiplication when you give to the poor. I think all those phrases talking about, never mind. You know, you get yourself that good martini, right? They shake it. They shaking up all that, never mind. Running over. When they pour you that good mead that we all sit there and they, especially when the Super Bowl coming around. Can't wait to hear what Kendrick Lamar going to say. But I digress, right? We're going to have that good football. We're going to have that beer flowing. You know how normally they show it on TV with a beer flowing out of the mug and all that? And we sitting there salivate like, oh man, get that Budweiser. You know what I mean? Running over. Shall people give back to you? Never mind. For with the same measure you meet. And that's the problem. We ain't doing enough giving. That's why you don't get a lot back in your life, y'all. Because we're not doing enough giving. We do a lot of giving because we want people to. What did it say earlier in this verse? Well, in these verses, what did it say? Ask not again. We trying to do the giving where we give the goods and get something back. No. Or so that we get something back. No. You give because people need. See, all this stuff going on in it. We just talked about it last time. Everything in the Eastern deal here is we're 35 minutes. We're about to wrap up soon. All that stuff going on the East Coast, right? Southern Eastern border of these lands. Those people need help, man. We ain't looking for nothing back. Give to them. Help rebuild their houses. Get their land back in order. Because when you do that, that helps your land, your house, stay in order or get back in order. But see, ye which are spiritual, we have missed it. So stuck on greed that the Good Samaritan story is not there no more. It's been replaced with how much money you can make from asset. See, even when you look for yourself, guys and gals, or gals and guys, the idea here is to promote someone else at your expense. So the little bit you get, you're pushing towards someone else. That's not how this has been made. This one hand washes the other, for real, for real. That's where, honestly, that's where we're going to stop. Because I got a lot. I got a lot. Because I could go on and on and on about this. But we just brought that out. It's the first time that we talked about Luke 6 in that light. That we've talked about these different things. Again, I could get into Matthew 26. And again, Matthew chapter 26 was the verse here that he uses about the poor being with you always. And unfortunately, oh man, it's rough. We'll end on this because again, people, for some odd reason, people assume that the Jews had nothing to do with Jesus' death when they were the ones that helped plan the thing, went to Rome under a collaboration and planned, with the government. We'll just say it that way, right? Kind of baseline the thing, whether people think it was Rome or here, that, and there. You just baseline it, right? So people understand it. There was a collaboration between the two. I wonder where we've seen that before, where Christians are operating, right? Where people who believe something, holy things, are in collaboration with the government to harm somebody. Then assembled the chief priests, Matthew 26:3. Assembled the chief priests together. Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest Caiaphas, or who is also called Caiaphas. Just take the who's called out, Caiaphas, right? High priest Caiaphas. They go to this man's palace house, right? These are holy people. You don't see nowhere. Do you see anywhere where there's government officials yet? Nope. These are the Jews, y'all. They plotted this mess because they were tired of hearing Christ talk the truth. Consulted that they might take Jesus by. I would be shocked if they didn't try to remove these verses from the Bible. Because see, again, if you did it in the 1500s, you set the precedent to do it again. But anyway, that they might take Jesus by subtlety and kill him. But they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. Y'all don't understand how much power you have. You don't. Not yet. Again, history shows every once in a while people start getting it. But I digress. Now when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him. Let me just do this for reference, because we say these names, but then, where's Bethany, KJ? Let's see if they do this. Where was Bethany in Jesus' time? A suburb of Jerusalem. So we in the big boy town. We in big with Jerusalem. That's like Chocolate City, as they say, Washington D.C., like a suburb of Washington D.C., right? In the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of precious ointment. Again, we read a different account of the same thing. Sometimes that happens in the Gospels, right? Poured it on his head as he sat to eat or at meat. When his disciples saw it, they had indignation saying to what, I'm not going to look up the definition of indignation because we're trying to end here. To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much. Now, there's one thing here that, no, is it here? It's not here. Where it talks about like 300 pence, or basically what comes up to is like $45. Y'all going ham over it. And then the people who are greedy, this is where their mindset is. You make mountains out of molehills. To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. Verse 10, when Jesus understood it, he said unto them, why you trouble this woman? Again, like we say on this podcast, y'all, we ain't caught the play yet. For she hath wrought a good work upon me. When you give to those who have need, y'all, which is what the poor means. Let me see if I still got it here. I think I do. Yeah, poor definition, lacking sufficient money to live at a standard considered comfortable. Okay, so a society that considers something comfortable. What is the word comfortable? As large as is needed or wanted. Do y'all have your life set up with stuff that is so much in amount that you have what you need or want? Because if you don't, that means it's po time. That means, see, again, we don't like associating things, but it's time we do so that we can understand the thing. This woman, shocking it's a woman, right? Hath wrought a good work upon me. For you have the poor with you always. This does not mean, or actually it says, for you have the poor always with you. That does not mean just because they're there, you leave them alone. No. That means you always got opportunity to help. It's not over because the poor is always with you. Now, Jesus is saying that in comparison, and we use that as a detractor, but we're not reading the whole of the verse because he's talking about the fact that Jesus will not be there always. So y'all are distracted on the thing of which you will always have with you, yet not paying attention to what is right in front of you. And that distraction you see all day long. All day long, in various forms. For this is the same distraction with the workers not joining together on the job. And now when we talked about that strike happening with them dock workers, right? Because they're bringing in automation. They want to take out you. But because you are more concerned about silly things like which one of the government is for you, they're going to come in on your back. And this does not matter whether Democratic or Republican, because they both aren't for you. But I digress. Again, this isn't a knock on the country. This is the people need to wake up to help elevate it. There's a difference. But me, you'll not have what you always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. There was a reason why it was given. One of the holiest reasons, where you prepare a body for burial back then, y'all. Right? Somebody you care about. Do you care about anybody, y'all? Family, do we care anybody? Do we care about anybody? And I've gone on long enough here, so we're going to end here. For verily I say unto you, wherever this gospel, wherever this good news, caring for people, wherever that's preached in all of this world, there shall also be this, that which this woman has done, to be told as a memorial, a reminder of her. Right? Shout out to you, sis, for what you did for the Son of God, the Son of Man, right? As a precedent for what we can do today and should be doing today for each other. Family, thank you for walking this road with me today, right? A long one, but a necessary one. Thank you for walking this road with me. And until next time, as always, look to find the beauty in a different view.